Somewhere in the world, somebody has given up on life, even though life has not given up on them. Some of them were older. Some of them were younger. Some of them were middle-aged. Some of them were women. Some of them were men. Some of them were trans, gay, straight, religious, non-religious, children, grandfathers, sisters, brothers, uncles, mothers, fathers, friends, husbands, wives. They all had one thing in common. They were loved. They were cared about. They mattered to somebody. Somewhere, somehow, all those people who gave up on life just needed to know that they mattered. Some of them were mentally disabled. Some of them were physically disabled. Some of them were just broken. And yet, they all were loved. They all were cared about. They all mattered to somebody. I once heard the saying from my wife, who told me, "To the world, you are one. To one, you are the world." I say that to say this. You don't know who you're impacting with your presence. You don't know who you're lifting up with your voice, your smile, your laughter, your jokes, your sarcasm. You don't know who needs you as bad as you think you need them. But if you are one of those people who is still in the fight, who is still willing to be better, who is still willing to live, who is still willing to ride for those people who are riding with you, then please reach out and get help. Dial 9888 and contact the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 3 numbers, 9888. 24/7, 366. And that's right. I know it's 365 days in a year, but they will make an exception for you. The world will stop for you. It always has. Because when you were born, you were what made the world different. Do not give up on your fight. Simply reach out and get help. And if you don't feel comfortable enough contacting them, then feel free, feel strong enough, feel empowered to reach out and contact me. Reach out and ask me for help. I will go through the process with you. I will go every step through the process with you. I understand. And while you may think you are alone at this, you are not. So before you make a decision we have to live with, make one you can live with and get help. Now let's talk some football.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Pride Nation, what's going on? And welcome back to another Lukegsfieldreview podcast show where we talk all things Detroit Lions. Now, if you're looking at this, it says pick 'em, Lions news, and more. That means I'm going to be covering a plethora of different things, starting with the pick 'em league. That's right, it's back up, and the first game is tomorrow. So if you want to be a part of the pick 'em league, you actually have up until 5 minutes before the game. I'm taking that back. It's actually 10 minutes before the game to get into the league and get your first pick in. All you're doing is picking winners and losers. That's it. You get to have the bragging rights to tell everybody else that the so-called experts, the super fans, don't know a thing about football because you can do it. So we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Hard Knocks final episode and a host of other things that jumped out to me. But you know me, I have to, I got to, I need to. It's in my blood to talk about who's in the building with me today. So if you're in here with me today, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment in there, and let me give you your flowers. Shout out to my man Brad Beard, friendly neighborhood Lion fan that's in the building. I'm gonna get this right. I'm gonna get this right. Andre Banks. If I didn't do that right, kill me. James Willis is in the building. Jesus Crust. That's a dope name. Jesus Crust. My man Looney Tunes in the building. 82 Rio's in the building who says still 10 to 11 wins. Stamp it. Lock it up, baby. My man Rumble's in the building. My man Lions Rumble 81. The Singles Dad Club. What's going on, brother? We got my man Charles Davis. We got my man Gavin Carson in the building. 9 Drinks is in the building. Lions Lee's in the building. James Willis is in the building. Dan Spanos. Easy Does It is in the building. Detroit D is in the building. We got my man Marcus Willis in the building. Go Lions is in the building with me. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Dr. Detroit's in the building. Joseph Murdoch is in the building. El Tonio Jenkins is in the building. Make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. 313 Curt is in the building. If you in here, drop the comment in there so we can get you shouted out and have some fun today. Because we starting this thing off a little bit different. My man Elk Production is in the building. Shout out to you. My man Raw Detroit, aka TA, is in the building. What's going on, fam? Let me make sure I ain't forgetting nobody. I don't want to make sure I forget nobody. I want the people to know that they matter today. Today is a day of joy for me because, you know, I understand some things. Even when the clouds are over the head, I understand that there's some things that I need to pick up from that message. So I'm in a good mood. Football is officially back. Yes, people, it is officially back. So if you know, effectively, we had a lot of things. So I'm going to pick up and catch up, but I want to catch up on my people in the building. Make sure I hit on everybody. I don't want to leave nobody out. I love every last one of y'all, so I want to make sure I get y'all flowers. Mars is landing in the building. What up, though? Nice photo. I see you got the Lions mask on and everything. Looking okay. I gotta figure out where you got that. I like that. You know how to contact a brother. Let him know where you got it. All right. We got my man Michael Huck is in the building. He says, "Hello, everyone. What up, though? Luke, I just got to get this off my chest. The Lions are going to win the home opener. Y'all can call me crazy. I just feel it. Well, I will be at that game, and I'm in agreement with you, and I think they're going to win that home opener, and I've called that since going back into all season. I'm just not impressed. I'll break into that a little bit further, but I'm just not that impressed with the Eagles. Maybe I've lost my mind. It won't be the first time, right? Won't be the first time. I've always been crazy, right? All right. So he says no Yahoo Fantasy prize pools anymore in Michigan. I'm pissed. Well, we got gambling. You can actually gamble on it easy. Go ahead and gamble on it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and gamble on it. All right. So first things first, the Pick'em League. Let me get this thing set up. I want to get everything queued up. The Pick'em League. So if you are in the building with me right now, every year we do a Pick'em League. This year, I'm going to let you actually see the first few picks I'm making. That's why this screen is up, okay? We're also going to be able to get people in there. If you're trying to figure out how to get into it, there's a link right now on the video in the description. Click that link, and everything you need is also in the description. The password, the league name, the group name, all of that is there. You want to get your picks in advance. You want to set your stuff up so it reminds you via email that you have 5 minutes to put your picks in, right? You want that notification because that notification helps you stay in the game. I can't tell you how many people have missed weeks while others have put in every week, and the people who miss weeks still somehow, some way came back and won. Don't know how, but it happened, right? We've done it before. It's been a thing, okay? So it's ketchup on the menu today. Y'all are funny. Oh my God. That's terrible. We don't do no ketchup around here, people. Y'all just a get indicted network over here. I see y'all trying to set a brother up. I don't know what you're talking about, okay? I do not. I repeat, I do not know what you're talking about. All right. So but to the people, man, just, we here. We're gonna have some fun with it. All right. So my man Easy says, that's true, Luke. I need to switch up my betting. That's all it is. You get to bet. You got better options. Easier money is catch up on the menu. You code for that, Go Lions. All right, Luke, we don't need a pick'em handicap from you. Your regular choices give us. You ain't lying, bro. I have been in the bottom of the Pick'em League forever. I do not have a good beat on certain teams for some reason. The Dallas Cowboys have failed me year in and year out. And I lose every league because I picked them to win, and these bums never come through. So, life lessons, right? Life lessons. So, I want to get the Pick'em League thing popping. It is in there. As you jump in and join, you can do it. If you're having trouble, hit me up on the email. Hit me up on IG or Twitter, DM me, and I will get to you. But the easiest way to do it is to click on that link. You'll see the group thing and everything else. And Lions Lee, I see today you choosing violence. So you're choosing violence for no reason. All right. I don't know why you do this to me, but you did. All right. So clearly, y'all don't need no handicap, but I'm gonna give it to you. So the first game is coming up, obviously, right? And so we're talking about tomorrow. That's September 8th, right? It starts at 5:20. I'm gonna say that again. It starts at 5:20. So you want to get into the league and get your picks in. We already have a significant number of people in there. Get in there, all right? Get in there. And if for some reason it gets filled, I will then create another room so we'll have 2 rooms to kind of work with it. So I'll get everybody in. But off rip, I'm only giving you the first 3 picks. Here's my prediction. I know there's a lot of hype around Buffalo and everything like that. And I know that everybody wants to believe that Buffalo has all this talent. They're coming in this game. They got my man Josh Allen. He's living his best life. He's got weapons on top of weapons on top of weapons. The defense got this. The defense got that. I get it. But it's something about them damn Rams, right? Because the Rams are coming off a Super Bowl, and they could be still hung over from that Super Bowl win and can be under pressure and have their own host of problems. However, I have opted not to take the favorite this year. I'm going with the home team. I think the Rams upset the Buffalo Bills. I do. I think they upset the Bills, and I think that the Rams actually, get themselves a fair shot to take their first win of the season. Why? I think Buffalo's going to come in, and I don't think Buffalo in it of itself has enough. Now, granted, you got my man Von Miller, who knows a little something, but if it's one thing I know about McVay is they will change. So I'm not worried about it. But I'm taking the Rams on this one. And then you got the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. And again, I have zero faith in either of these teams. One got Jameis Winston, and the other one has Marcus Mariota. And when you look at both the teams' pass rush and stuff like that, I kind of like the Saints better. And for that reason, I am selecting the Saints. Now, this right here is a game that I believe is a trap game because for some reason, San Francisco will get up for a team on every level, but they are going to start Trey Lance. And that does concern me, given the fact that they were trying to trade their quarterback and just made him a backup in case of emergency, and just in case I need to break the glass. In this case, that could be something to look out for. But the Bears could be sneaky. You're talking about playing a game at home. They feel good about what they have in Fields. And I think their offensive line is still a hot mess. I think that their defense is still questionable. I think that they're in the first year of their rebuild. I'm taking San Francisco. I'm locking in my first 3 picks. Feel free to call me crazy. It is what it is. The other picks, I will make them later where y'all cannot see. As you can see, those picks are now officially locked in. And it tells you up here that you can literally change these 5 minutes before the game. So, feel free to do that. Now, I got that out the way. All right, good people. I got it all done. I feel so much better. I'm breathing, right? We need to talk about Hard Knocks. Okay, so let me just give you the good. The good was, being able to see how they let these players down was a sight for me because I've watched Hard Knocks before. And I've seen some coaches seem a little dead in their emotion. Like they try to act like it was a hard decision, but the reality is it was not hard at all. Like at all. It was not a hard decision. And in this case, I saw a coach and a general manager who truly understood what this meant for a lot of these people. They understood that this is going to change a lot of things. The only one who got cut, who I can tell knew his cut was coming, was Tim Boyle. And I was happy as hell about it. I really was. I ain't going to lie. But the more I watch Hard Knocks, the more I came to a few other conclusions, which is another thing I think is good, which is the players genuinely care about this organization. They care about the general manager. They care about the head coach. They care about this city. They care about the fans. And that was evident in every aspect of it. And granted, yes, only one player looked like he was finna cry, which was Skipper. I thought Dan Skipper was going to let it roll because I understand how much work you put into it and you keep coming up short. I get it. But they care. And I was impressed with that. Another good thing that I noticed was that the people who knew that they probably wasn't making this team still showed fight on every level. They never gave up. They fought in practice. They still fought in the final game. They just kept on fighting. And you see how much of a struggle it was for the staff to pick these players based on certain things. They was in love with Godwin, whatever his damn name, Ibakawi, I don't know his name, but Godwin, the running back. They was high on him. They was really, really high on Reynolds, and it was a hard decision between picking the right running backs and things like that. They was high on so many people. JD did take getting cut like a pro. I thought he handled it like a champ. And he swiftly signed back to the practice squad because he wants to be here, and he knows what that means for him, but that's cool. I just thought that the whole atmosphere felt loving and caring, right? Now, here's the thing. There's some bad in there, right? And the bad to me is the things that I'm like, that I heard that I know didn't make major media news, but it kind of bothered me, okay? I'll give you a perfect example. One of the things that bothered me was you literally sign David Blau and tell him he makes the team. And then after you tell him he makes the team, you just randomly bring in this guy, Nate Studfield, whatever his damn name is. You bring this guy in, E. Boykwe. Close enough. Look, y'all know I botch names. I'm sorry. You should see me at work. They'd be so pissed off with me. They'd be bad, like, that's not my name. Listen, I'm sorry. I didn't name you. I'm having a hard time with it. I'm sorry. All right. It's even worse that I had COVID. It is what it is. But, all right. So, I'm watching this, and I'm like, okay, cool. Everything is starting to just come together for me. And I'm looking at these things, and they tell Blau that he's on the team. Then they let him go. And then for the cameras, I did feel like for the cameras, there's a little bit of a play up. They were acting like they were so hurt that he went to the Vikings. What are you hurt about? He's been here 3 years. You've never given him the backup spot. You've never given him a fair shot for real to get the backup spot. And before somebody tell me, yes, they did. No, they went out and got quarterback at the quarterback on top of quarterback, and them quarterbacks performed bad, and he still never got that spot. There was nothing that you saw in any game that said that Tim Boyle should have been on this team, and somehow we carried 3 quarterbacks last year. Doesn't make sense to me. And then he goes to the other team, and if you listen to what Dan Campbell said it sucks because he feels like we didn't care about him. Now, that's a good thing because he understands the mindset of David Blau. He understands these different things, but David Blau's attitude to it was, if I'm going to be on the practice squad, it won't be here. I'm not doing this anymore. I don't have a chance to get moved up. You guys are actively looking for somebody, and I'm never going to get that shot. And if I'm going to get that shot, I'll take it somewhere else where somebody else can have value in me. And it was evident to me that happened. Now, the other thing that pissed me off was Rod Wood said that the number 2 selling jersey, I want y'all to say this with me. Say this with me. And y'all wonder why I'm trying to figure out where's this hype coming from. But the number 2 most selling jersey for the Detroit Lions, number 2 most selling jersey for the Detroit Lions is Malcolm Rodriguez. What have we lost our damn mind? You wonder why I'm confused. I'm confused. The number, he's only behind Aiden Hutchinson. You telling me we took a whole Jameson Williams, We took a whole Pascal. We took a whole Mitchell. All these people we took, Kirby Joseph, and the number 2 selling jersey is Malcolm Rodriguez. I pay attention to patterns and trends, and I saw a fan base who fell in love with the story. Shay says, what are you mad about? I'm mad about nothing. It's just bad because the expectations are so high on a guy who's a rookie. He's a rookie. And yes, he can always have upside no matter what he do because of where he was drafted. He's going to have upside. But there's no way a 6th-round draft pick should have a higher jersey sale than DeAndre Swift, than Amani Oruwariye. And I know somebody's going to say, well, maybe people already got their jerseys. Okay, fine. I'll join you on the goddamn boat. I'll join you. He got more jersey sales than Jameson Williams? Really? Than Pascal? Really? Doesn't make sense to me. Just blows my mind. More jersey sales than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Really? It does not make sense to me. It doesn't. And when I look at what has occurred, it blows my mind. I thought that was a bad thing. I cannot believe that we somehow made that the number 2 selling jersey. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. Another thing that I thought was bad was he said that the roster is not finished. He said that. Now, let me go back. Steve-O makes a point. We haven't seen Williams or Pascal play for the Lions yet. So, they talked about that. They had a whole interview where they knew that they were drafting people who were hurt. And everybody and their mama still gave that draft the A. So whether they saw them play or not, the expectations should still be higher on them or they shouldn't be here. Just saying. Shay says Jameson already had like 3 outdated numbers. I feel you. Salty says, who cares whose jersey is selling? I do. Because I believe that also reflects in the expectation of the player. When we got Matthew Stafford, he had the number 1 selling jersey. When we got Calvin Johnson, he had the number 1 selling jersey. The expectations were high based on them jersey sales. People wanted to rep that person that they believe was going to change the franchise. Go through and look at all the number 1 selling jerseys when we drafted certain players. You're going to see a pattern. Steve-O doesn't believe that buying jerseys put expectations on them. Nobody says that buying jerseys puts expectations on them. Buying those jerseys tells me where the expectations are. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's doing that. You're going to look at all the teams across the league. You're going to see that the players that they took, like right now, the guy that the Jacksonville Jaguars, he had the number 1 selling jersey for Jacksonville. Trey Walker, whatever his damn name is. Go through and look at it. Because these are who the fans are hyping up. The same reason why Hush is number 1, correct. And now you're talking about a guy from the 6th round is higher than people well ahead of him. It just blows my mind. Just blows my mind. Now, Gavin makes a good point. It could be because of Hard Knocks and people love a good story and everything like that. That's fair. That's fair. That's real. That's fair. I would not argue that. That's very possible that Hard Knocks sold that. I totally get it. But it blows my mind. It just blows my mind. Like, dude. That's all these players on this team, and that's the number 2 selling jersey. That's crazy to me. Not your quarterback, not your receivers, not the tight end, not the safety, that guy. I just don't get it. I get it. All right. Another thing that I thought was bad. That I thought was bad was Eminem coming to the practice. I don't get it. I understand how this can be of some type of movement for the players and stuff like that, but for what? For what? Seriously. I don't care. I didn't care. You know, I love Eminem the rapper, but I just didn't understand. I would have much rather them brought somebody in, you know, that can do something, but I just wasn't there. I wasn't there. Now some things that I thought were absolutely ugly. Some things that I thought were absolutely ugly. Watching Nate Studfield sit in that room, just so happy he's got the shot. And I can't tell you what he did to be in that room. I can't tell you what he did. Something else I thought was ugly was how when it came time for them to make certain cuts, when it came time for them to have certain conversations, you know, you can tell who they had plans for from the beginning to the end. It didn't even matter. And those people came in totally different. The ones that they had no care in the world were the ones who pissed them off, like Tim Boyle, who didn't really show up. The people that wasn't going to make practice squad, you know. And so those were the people who kind of really got my attention. That I'm like, this is crazy how they did this. I thought that with us already knowing who was cut, I didn't really see anything new. Nothing really stood out to me new. So for that regard, I went, okay, cool. But overall, I was happy with the last episode. And I know Eminem showing the love. I just hated it. It was such a Detroit move for media purposes, right? Like everybody, I can't tell you how many times if I leave Michigan, everybody swear to God, or they at least ask me, have I visited 8 Mile? They believe 8 Mile is Michigan. Don't ask me. I've had people literally ask me, how far is the University of Michigan from 8 Mile? I'm like, this is a real question. Okay. Like, I don't get it. Appreciate that, cheese's crust, right? But I'm just saying. Now, outside of that, there's some more notable news going on because the injury bug is starting to creep up, and I'm starting to get a little worried about it. I really am. I'm starting to get a little worried about it because I'm starting to realize that we may have to dig into that part of Hard Knocks. Luke is media. I got it. The media is what we are expecting. I got it. They didn't know where to go with it, so why not have Eminem come and see this thing? I get it. It was so forced. It was so forced. It was so forced, and I was just like, whatever. And he clearly is advertising Mom Spaghetti. We ain't gonna act like that didn't happen, but yes. But the injury bugs are coming up, and now we're gonna have to start talking about depth. Because I think Frank Ragnow dealing with some like growing injury, Big V is having some problems, and the list goes on, right? And so now we have to start to wonder who are the guys coming in to fill in, and do you as a fan base feel good or comfortable with the guy who's coming in to play? If the answer is yes, kudos to you, right? Like, I get it, right? If the answer is no, then you're like me. You're in a position of concern. You're in a what the hell is going on mode. And that's the mode that I'm in, where I'm trying to figure out why we're here already. And we haven't even got started. What's going on, Mike? What it do, brother? We got a new one in the building. Zaquan. Did I say that right? I think Ragnar will play. I think he will play too, but God forbid if he don't. And you already got Big V down, who I don't even remember when he got hurt. So I'm concerned. Mom Spaghetti took Big V. That's a good one, Rich Bean. He says Mom Spaghetti took out Big V. He did come back for seconds, I think he said. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, God. That's terrible. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm leaving that one up for a minute. That's hilarious as hell. But the injuries is becoming a concern for me, seriously. And we talk about depth. We talk about what this draft is. You're not going to be able to adequately grade this draft until about 3 years, right? But God, where's the depth? Questions are going to start to come up next year about Brad Holmes' draft, right? And the hot buttons need to take off, which brings me to my next point. Because I was watching a clip where they were doing the breakdown preview, and I don't know if I can bring it up or not. Let me see if it'll let me do it. Let me see if it'll let me bring up the clip. But I was watching a clip where they were doing the breakdown for the Eagles-Lions game. And the commentator said something that made me go, I didn't even think about it. He said, the Lions did nothing to address their run defense. So to you, the chat, I'm asking you now, do you agree with that statement? Do you believe that the Lions did not do anything to address their run game? Anything? Do anybody believe that? You know, that's the things I'm trying to figure out. So let's get that out the way. Do you believe, all right, that the Lions have done nothing to address their rush defense? This is what the guy said in the video. You know, he started the video off with such a high level of confidence, the way he spoke about the Lions, and then it just went downhill from there. He started off real good. He gave, he builds you up. He builds you up. Then he broke you down piece by piece. So Rumble says Hush Off the Edge addresses this. Technical says no. All right. Rio 82 Rio says no. Cool. I'm with it. Hold on. I got a Facebook comment. Let me see. Facebook user says 7-10 for the Lions in 22. I got us winning at the floor 8 games, but I think our overall record is probably 10-7. I think you should flip it. 10-7 is what I think they'll do. I think this team, based on scheduling and things like that, that's another story. But just looking at the game right now, going into it, are you feeling confident enough to say, you know what? Like, linebacker lives matter. Yeah, apparently they underrated. You don't need them anymore. All right. So it's crazy. 67 wins. What's good? Sorry, Lion fans. Buffed up. This dude is hilarious. Let's see. I say they tried to address it. And that's what I feel. That's what I feel, Salty. I feel they tried to address it. It's just not going to come to fruition because they're hurt. Those guys who we're counting on to stop the run game are hurt. I clearly got the Facebook user's attention. He says 10-7. What you sipping on? I need to make me one before I get on with the. I'll tell you what. Follow me for a minute, right? Follow me for a minute. Look at the Lions schedule as it stands right now. I can easily go through and show you games that they should be favored in and that they should win, right? If you just look at their schedule. So let me go into their schedule and we'll bring it up. And I'll ask you again to look at it because you have to just ask yourself a question. If they 10 wins is not possible, right? If you just break it down in a certain way, meaning that you just look at the opponent, and who you're going to go against as an opponent, right? That's what you really want to see. All right. So let me bring this up, make this nice and big, so nobody can say they can't see. All right. Make it a little bit bigger. All right. All right. So take a quick view. All right. All right. Here we go. How can I come up with 10 wins? Well, first, let me just tell you the simplest logic to it. I believe we beat the Eagles. But let's just say for right now, we'll put them on the table, say the Eagles beat us, right? We still beat Seattle. We split with, we split with the Vikings. That's 2 wins. We sweep the Bears. That's 2, so that's 4. I believe we will beat the Giants. That's 5. Jacksonville, 6. Jets, 7. Panthers, 8. That's 8 games right there. Off rip, I think we win. Now you just got to split with the Packers. That's 9, right? And you got to win one of the games from Washington. You got to win one of the games with the Eagles. You got to win one of the games with the Patriots, which they should have extra motivation coming out with Matt Patricia being on that sideline. You just got to win one more game. There's 8 games that I believe we can win off rip. And if they do what I think they're going to do, which is beat the Eagles, beat Washington, I think they'll split with the Vikings, beat Seattle. I feel pretty good we can get to 10 wins. That's just me. And at the minimum, 8. He says, you ain't sweeping the Bears. The Bears are being projected to have a top 5 pick. What the Bears got left that we need to stop? Who's the threat on their defense? I'll wait. There is nobody on the Bears that we worried about. You want to tell me we worry about Fields? I'm not. Who was the threat? What player on the Bears defense you worried about? I wait. Akeem Hicks, gone. Khalil Mack, gone. You worried about Robert Quinn? Really? Eddie Jackson, you worried about them? Roquan Smith ain't happy. You think he finna go out there and give him his all? He said the Bears are so underrated, it's not funny. They are a 7 to 8 win team. And you ask what I'm sipping on? I'm just saying, you ask what I'm sipping on. You see 7 or 8 wins for the Bears? Seriously. Okay. What can I say? If you see that, I ain't mad at you. I don't see that. I don't see a team that's completed enough in their first year of the rebuild that scares me. I don't see that. I just don't. I don't see a 7 to 8 win team from the Bears. If we're losing to the Bears, if we're getting swept by the Bears or losing to the Bears or getting swept by the Minnesota Vikings, then I'm emphatically telling you that Dan Campbell's the wrong coach. You cannot have people coming in on their first year of a rebuild beating you and you in year 2. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I don't know how you do this. The Lions have 9 games at home, and they're most of their toughest games. There should be no reason why you shouldn't win. He says, let's bet. If the Lions finish better than the Bears, I'll do an episode of the Man Hour in the Lions jersey. And hat. Deal. The Lions will beat the Bears. They better beat the Bears. If you telling me Aiden Hutchinson can't take advantage of that offensive line, if you telling me Aleem McNeil can't take advantage of that offensive line, Charles Harris can't. If you telling me that, then yeah, some heads should get ready to roll. That's all I'm saying. Now, again, make no mistake, I'm just putting it out there. Let me jump back into this. So we get back into the mix of it all right? And we're talking about, looking at the Lions as a whole, right? So the injury buzz is popping up. The roster of the 53-man roster is there. And one of the things that's jumping out to me when looking at this game coming up versus the Eagles on why I feel confident that we will win is the fact that, 1, it's a home game for us. 2, it's, this ain't the same offense that they were used to seeing. It's a little bit more aggressive. The defense has changed, in my opinion, to a better defense. I cannot tell you how much I was dying of thirst for that 3-4. I don't know how you can have a 3-4 and you don't have 4 linebackers. I don't know how this works. I don't. So that was bothering me. And the other things that were standing out to me were just those little small things when it comes to the personnel lineup. I don't think we're going to be in a position where we need to worry about people like Darius Slay, because if you're asking me that who's Darius Slay going to cover, he better cover Chark. If he don't, then bums away. And if he covers the guy in the slot and Amon-Ra St. Brown, bums away. If he do cover DJ, then the St. Brown's going to kill him. And if you look at their receiving core as a whole right now, as it stands, do they got more than enough to go past receiver 1 and 2? Oh, yeah. Hands down they do. But do the Eagles secondary got enough to cover past 3? I don't think so. You look at their linebackers and their D-line, that's cool. We're going to run the ball at them. Do I think they'll be able to run on us? Maybe a little. I don't trust our linebackers, so it is what it is. Right? Like, I don't trust them. But I can tell you this, that even with looking at that, I think we should beat them. Can Okudah and Omari stop A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith? I don't think Okudah and Omari necessarily have to stop them. I think they have to slow them down, and that's going to be helped out with the safety play. But keep in mind, this could be a game where it's a shootout. It could be. But I'm also looking at it like this. All right. I'm also looking at it like this. That, in my opinion, if you put this much money and invested into that D-line, I'm expecting to see pressure and confusion on the quarterback. Just saying. And, yeah, I know Jalen Hurts can run. So what? Be disciplined. Keep your gaps. Keep your lanes. It shouldn't be a problem. It just is what it is. So, yeah, that's my view on that one. I see a question coming in from Key Eric. It's a good one. It's a very good one. He says, Luke, who do you want to call the plays? Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson? So I thought about this for a few days, right? I really have. I thought about this for a few days, and one of the things that jumped out to me is I don't care. I don't. I think the reason why I don't care is because regardless of who calls the plays, I know who gets blamed anywhere it go, and that's the head coach. If Dan Campbell calls the plays and it's not popping, he'll get the blame. If Ben Johnson calls the plays and it's not popping, he'll get the blame. If the defense don't perform, he'll get the blame. If a player's not available or a player's not up to snuff, he'll get the blame. It does not matter who's calling the plays. It doesn't give us an advantage to announce to the world, hey, I'm calling it, this person's calling it, so why talk about it? I know who in the hell gets the blame. Who calls the plays? Don't matter. Who gets the blame? Guaranteed the head coach. So whether he decides that, hey, I'm going to get blamed anyway, so I'm going to call it, great. Or he decides, hey, I'm going to get blamed and take the blame for it, he can call it, great. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because we know who gets the blame. So I personally do not care who calls the plays. I don't. What's going on, Doug Prince 72? What it do? All right? Like, I don't care. It just doesn't make sense to me. Either way it go, regardless of who's calling it, they're going to get blamed. We are at a point where it's wins and losses. I don't even care if we get a 70-yard field goal with the win and the kiss of God. I don't care. If it's a win, that's all we care about. I think Rodriguez would be the quarterback spot and Hurts might get hurt. If Hurts get hurt, then that's great, I guess. But whoever the fastest person is that can get home needs to be the spot. And I think he could be the spot. So I'm cool with that. You got to mix it up, though. Lions need to give Sean Payton 10% ownership in the Lions to coach the Lions. Rumor has it he want to go to Dallas. So I don't know. Lions have to worry about Gardner, not the wide receivers. I'm not worried about the tight end, right? I'll tell you why. I don't trust Hurts. I just don't. So I'm not worried about the tight end. I know if you just get pressure on him, he will force passes and do things that's unraveling. And I think the Lions should be able to do that. I think the Lions should be able to get after this team defensively. I really do. And if they are not able to, with a home crowd that what I'm hearing is sold out, and I'll be at that game, like, come on. Come on. So for me, if the tight end is getting off, that's just further proof that we should have been more invested in linebackers and safeties. That's just the truth. It's still a weak spot for us, and I hate to say it. But they got 9 home games, and this is one of them. And it's the opener at the Hard Knocks, a spicy season, a rookie with an underdog story that everybody's in love with. Show up and show out. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. I ain't asking you to reinvent the wheel. I'm asking you to show up and show out. Put the product on the field. You heard Eminem. We got a good team this year. Right? Like, he can say anything else, but I get the point. Like, show up, show out. That's all I'm saying. Mr. 86 says a zone defense makes Hurts beat them tip ball. Read that better. A zone defense makes Hurts beat them tip balls and offensive runs the ball, take care of the ball. Yeah, I don't see how we lose this game. I put it this way. I ain't gonna say I don't see how we lose it, but the only way we lose it is if people are not living up to the par. And that's just the reality of it. That's just the reality of it. Aiden Hutchinson this game should have like 2 sacks this game. He should have a bunch of quarterback pressures. The defense should have a bunch of quarterback pressures. The linebacker should be getting home. And if they're not doing that, I got a problem. Luke, do you believe there will be more Eagle fans on Sunday? It better not be. It better not be. I cannot tell you how disgusted I was at that 49ers game, and it was a sea of red. Red and white everywhere. A sea of it. They literally trying to tell them to quiet down, and the crowd was so loud because it was more of them than us. I better not see it this week. I'm going to be totally disgusted. I better not see it. Show up. You got tickets, go to the damn game. Root for your team. What's the point of buying the tickets if you ain't going to go to the game and root for them? 2 sacks against a top 3 O-line for a rookie. Yeah. Yeah. Why is that unfathomable? Like, what? Yeah. You got a quarterback who scrambles. You don't think he's going to run into a few people? Just saying. I think 2 sacks is very plausible. Yeah. Why? Why not? Let me see. Oh, I gotta do this too real quick. Gotta go back. I gotta pay some bills. gotta pay some bills. Gotta make sure we paying bills around here now. Can't be having these problems. All right. So trying to make sure I am covering. All right, let's go. Boom. All right, people, if you have not heard, I rock with Man Hour, and they are streaming as of right now on Roku. They're on Facebook streaming right now. I'm on Facebook, Roku, a bunch of other little platforms streaming at once. All thanks to Man Hour. And Man Hour is the place where you can go get all your sports. You get some baseball, basketball. Hell, you might hear about some hockey, some tennis, and no telling. You'll definitely hear about football, and you're not going to just hear about your favorite team, but you're going to hear about all 32 teams. You're going to hear some hot takes, some undertakes, and then some. You're going to hear some comedy and some things that's going to be enticing. But nonetheless, they are on streaming platforms, and they're doing things big, and they're trying to get things going. So it's Man Hour. We're trying to get them above the 2,000 subscribers, so please help a brother out and go over there and subscribe and show them some love. That's Man Hour, where it's really your time to be the man that you always been. All right. I got a link in the description, so if you want to join me for a minute, you can. This is going to be kind of a shorter show because I have to, I got kids that got to go to school now, so it's taking up a lot of my time in the day, right? It's taking up a lot of my time in the day, and yeah. It's a lot of work. I can tell you right now, to the people who are parents, you are superheroes. Don't let nobody tell you different. All right. Any other questions you got in the chat? Drop them in there. I'm answering them. We lose the game due to the new Hutchinson rule. Hey, if they make a rule up on the spot there, we need to figure out what's really going on. Let me see. We got it's going to be a lot of 44s there. It sure as hell is the number 2 jersey. I'm going to be paying attention too. Did he stutter? Hutch is going to go off. No, I ain't stutter. 2 sacks and a whole lot of pressure. This quarterback, the moment the pocket moves, he's looking to run. Hutchinson should accidentally just fall into him a few times. I'm just saying. And that would be a good outing for him, right? Like he's got to win the one-on-one battles, right? He has to. So I'm just saying. So he better do good with all the hype he getting. I want to see Hurts run up the middle. Rodrigo better smack his head. Hey, like I said, the expectations is high for that rookie. I just want people to temper it a little bit. That's all I'm saying. I think Chark will cook the safeties. He should. Luke forgot Hutch went to Michigan and he trashed. Buffed up. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. 2 sacks for Hutch. 2 big tackles by Rodriguez. I actually think Rodriguez will probably make more tackles than that, but because I think he's going to have to really be an enforcer at the linebacker spot for us because we need to have those plays to shut the run down. So I can see it being the case, but it starts with up front, and we've invested so much into it, and I'm ready to start to see some type of, return on that investment, and that's the problem for me. JT's massive purpose says trust Bryant going off trying to get paid next year. That's a good point. Austin Bryant, I can see it. I can smoking crystals. I can see it. All right, let me see. Also, let me go back. I want to reiterate this because I know some people are going to say, "Oh, I missed it." Right? I don't want you to miss it. The Pick'em League is up. It is in the description. Right? It is in the description, which means that right now you can join the Pick'em League, get in there, have some fun, pick your winners and losers, and see what's going on. All right. Here's my first 3 picks for the first 3 games. That's kind of my own little way of giving y'all an inside scoop of what I'm thinking, and I could be wrong. Right? This is your chance to prove me wrong by beating me. And so every week I'll show who's the winners for that week, and then we'll have who's the winners of the league in its entirety. All right? So that's how we're going to get it. But the Pick'em League is up, and everything is in the description. The group ID name and stuff like that is in there. All in the description at the top. My man Rumble is in the building. Rumble, what's going on, brother?
Man, what's going on, Luke, man?
Not much,
it's a
man.
treat, baby.
Trying to get a show in and do it quick enough. I had to get the kids in the bed early, right? And I'm gonna tell you what my son said to me. He goes, "Hey, Dad," and I go, "Yeah." He goes, "So are you trying to get us in the bed early so you can go do your show?" I said, "No, it's a school night, son."
Oh, he's too smart.
Yeah, he's too smart, right? I said, "It's a school night, son." You know what he says to me? He says, "Daddy, go in there and knock him out." I said, "Hey, out the box."
Hey.
Right?
Incredible.
So, my brother, what's going on? Because there's some things going on. Like for me, what was your overall view of the last episode of Hard Knocks? I thought it was meh because we already was cut.
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing. I think they just I think it was kind of more so they just try to fill that time. I was looking more for the city. I was looking more for the fans and just to kind of get the vibe around the city. I think if they would have did something along those lines, I think it would have been much more appealing to me because like you said, it's buzzing right now, man. And shout out to you for going to that first home game of the year. The man, that place is going to be rocking, man.
Well, it should be. You know what I'm saying? It should be. I liked Eminem in it. I hated Eminem in it. It was so forced, so scripted. Like, think about this, right? Before Eminem, and I don't know if y'all pay attention to this, but before Eminem, anytime they did something in Detroit, it was Kid Rock.
Yep. Yeah.
Right? But Detroit has so many legends in there. You got Royce 5'9", you got,
Big
you
Sean.
got T Grizzy, you got it's so many people that they went to the ones that they know across the globe is recognized in that regard. So, and it felt forced. I didn't even know why he was at the practice. And then you see that not many like a few players, had interactions with him, but overall, it's like whatever. Eminem is my hero. I can't be mad at that. Damn it, make me feel bad. Why don't you, Mike? What the hell? Not trying to shoot him down. I just felt it was forced. I'm sorry. Damn it. But yeah, he said I already made my picks. Okay, he feeling confident.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like on week 12. I got 5 more weeks. to
Yeah,
make
see,
my
I
picks.
gotta see. I make them on the week before. I gotta kind of gauge what's happening. Week one
Yeah.
is always the hardest one for me, so that's what it is.
I know,
Luke,
man.
what do you think about Sean D. Hamilton being a defensive coach assistant after they cut him? It's the culture, right? Most of the players there are former players, about what they say, 20-something, 30-something years of experience between playing and coaching.
Yeah.
It's that's the process, right? And who better to have do it than people who've done it before, right? You know, they say those who can do and those who can't teach. And so,
Teach.
you know,
Yes, indeed.
he's done it. So why not? I mean, Shepard has played. When I say Shepard was a stellar player when he played, I wouldn't say that. But could he teach somebody to be better? Yes, because he may not have been just physically gifted to do it. But that's just my view. You know, I ain't gonna do that. So it's a lot of Detroit legends. It's a
Oh
whole
yeah,
bunch of them. I can go down a list on them.
man. I got so many. I still
You
listen
know,
to him to this
Trick,
day. Yeah.
Big Sean's. You know, like I said, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying they could have been anyone, but they went to the most. They went to the one that they thought everybody would know. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
tearing
man.
down my hero? No, Mike. No. No. I'll be in Vegas next weekend for picks. Okay.
Okay,
All right.
JT.
I mean, you can put your picks in anywhere. It's on Yahoo. So you just got to go in, sign in, and click the link, and you ready to rock and roll. So get in there. Oh, here's the other thing. Please use the name that you use on YouTube. I want to give you your credit. I want to give you your flowers. Please do that. That's all I'm saying. I feel like I'm on the Titanic and the sad Mike, no, Mike, hold on. It's room for both of us on the goddamn door, Mike. Don't do this. We all know Rose was selfish when she wouldn't let him on that damn door. It was more than enough room. Okay, Mike, I'm letting you on the door. All right. But let me ask you this question, man. What are your thoughts? I know a lot of people was giving me heat because they was like, they don't know why I have a whole they don't know why I had this whole like shocking epiphany, like Malcolm Rodriguez had the number 2 selling jersey. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I think it's a testament to, the HBO and the Hard Knocks, the production, man. Shout out to him. I mean, Rodrigo. I mean, that whole thing. I mean, and he's a 6th-round pick who could be potentially a starter for a NFL team. So he's dynamic. His personality just fits with what this culture is, man. Like he wants to go out there, punch the clock, and work. I want to play some ball. We heard him so adamantly state that throughout every episode. Like, man, I can't wait to hit somebody. So kudos to him, man. He's actually kind of growing on the rest of the nation. So I rather that as opposed to some other kind of controversy like Patricia and his pencil, and so it's a positive. It's positive for me. I can dig it.
Like I said, I would have much rather had Jalen Rose on there too, because I know he's a true diehard fan, and I'm not saying Eminem is not, but what can I say? It is what it is. And the last thing I want to ask you is this, man, because I'm curious about this. Is it crazy to think that the Lions will beat the Eagles week 1?
No, I've been kind of on the fence as of late, but I'm pulling for my team. Of course, I'm gonna pull for them, man. I am drinking the Kool-Aid, but to this point right here, and I'll state this only because it's a different culture, it's a different group of guys. Everybody's buying in. Ford Field is sold out for the first time in years. It's the first home game. There's so much leading up to this, and I think the players are ready. I think the fans are going to give them everything they need as far as energy, and I just think the players want to do it not only for Dan Campbell but for the city and for themselves. So. We have a lot to gain here. We have nothing to lose, which is always good when a team has nothing to lose and everything to gain. I think we go in here and I think we edge them out. I think it's going to be, if we lose, it'll be by 7 points or less. I don't get the whole thing. They look good on paper, but they're going to blow us out the water. You can't measure heart, you can't measure talent, and you can't measure who's going to be game ready that day. So
Plus,
no,
I
you're
think
not.
last year we were hurt.
Yes,
bad,
very much so. Very much
You know,
so.
don't want to make excuses. Just want to point out some obvious. Let me ask you this, because this is another thing. The injuries are starting to creep up. Are you getting concerned with that?
No, because now it's going to allow, especially that O line right now, it's going to allow Taylor Decker to kind of be the anchor on that O line right now. Yeah, we know it's we kind of got a young O line, but it's Taylor Decker's O line right now. It's still Frank Ragnow's. Frank Ragnow is going to be in one of those years if he's not playing Sunday. But I don't look past Frank Ragnow not playing. I think he missed so many games last year. I think that guy's going to be out there. I think he's going to be game ready, and I want to see this O line dominate this defensive line because there's so much. Everybody's just praising how dominant their defensive line is, and these guys ain't doing nothing but licking at the chops. Like, so that trench warfare is going to be so fun to watch. And how many times do you actually say that? Like, oh man, I can't wait to see what the O line does. I can't wait to see that. But
For the Lions,
for sure. Yeah, exactly. I think for sure
for the Lions,
this Penei Sewell, like blocking downfield or pancaking somebody and then going help someone else block. I think we're in for a hell of a show, man, come Sunday. And kudos to you for going to the game, man. So hopefully you bring your energy, you bring your cap, you bring your
listen, I went and bought a whole new Lions shirt, whole new Lions hat. Right. I'm trying to,
okay.
Every time I wear my classic jersey, people be looking at me like I'm weird. Like, bro,
they're probably looking at you like you're a player.
Well, I got two classic jerseys. I got Benny Blaze, right? I got Benny Blaze, and I got Herman Moore. So
of course, 84, baby.
Yeah. So hey, what can I say? My man Raw Detroit says, I'm hoping Malcolm Rodriguez is the next DeAndre Levy. I'm praying that he's better.
I'm hoping he's the next Malcolm Rodriguez. I get what you're saying, Raw, but DeAndre was kind of. Man, his body broke down on us. So I hope Malcolm.
I don't even know if his body broke down as much as they were tired of him doing risk taking stuff. This man, he climbing out the freaking airplane wings and stuff. He did all kind of crazy stuff, bro. So I think they just got tired of that, and that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. Antoine, he says, did y'all see where they was talking about moving Ragnow to guard? Yeah, I talked about the injuries and the depth issues and stuff. It is terrifying me. But here's the thing. I can tell you why I'm not going to be against him going to guard, because to me, Evan Brown, he showed me he can handle that. And if Evan Brown can come in and step up, and you telling me it's now Frank Ragnow next, even though I think Frank Ragnow is 100% better at center, if we can get half of that with him at guard next to Sewell,
I agree.
Okay, cool. And then Evan Brown was performing last year. Like, I was fairly shocked with Evan Brown. I was like, what the hell is going on here? So, but I'm still concerned with our depth, but I can see why that move would make sense. Let me see. Make sure I ain't missed nothing. Like I said, this is gonna be a short one, man. I got them kids on there in their rooms. I'm like, I'm gonna go and check, make sure they sleep. They better be sleep for school.
Lights out.
Yeah, if they not, they're gonna be mad. They're gonna be mad because video game time gonna be snipped. Okay.
Are
this
you
team has
pre-gaming?
done, huh?
Are you pre-gaming Sunday? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you know what? Because I'm gonna be at the game. I'm actually going to tailgate. So
okay.
I ain't gonna have no time. I'm gonna be tailgating.
Good for you.
You know, I'm probably gonna be the designated driver because I don't drink. So
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, that's awesome. So who's watching the kids? The wife?
The wife watching the kids, man. Yeah.
Oh man, you're gonna have fun, man.
Yeah,
don't lose your voice, man.
She's saying that she. Okay, the only time I lose my voice is when dumb stuff happens. That's when I get irritated. I get, oh my god, my spirit break. That's when I turn into Deuce. I turn into Deuce. All these injuries is hurting us. Yes, they are. Bring your ketchup. What ketchup, man? We don't do no ketchup around here. Where the mustard at? Team mustard around here, man. Stop playing with me. Don't make no sense. In the mix. What up, though, brother? We finna get out of here. I got to do a short show, man. I got to get these kids ready and get up for for school. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to cut it a little bit short. I'm sorry, right? But please join the Pick'em League. Join them. It's in the description. It's all there for you to live your best life, right? Rumble, give the people your final thoughts before we get up out of here.
Man, is it Sunday yet? I mean, I'm man. Thank you for dropping this jewel right here, this gem. Hopefully we see you on TV. Hopefully not. But yeah, man, go
Yeah,
down
but
there.
according to the job, if I'm seen on TV, that's not the same as an active social media. So
There
that's
you
different.
go.
Yes,
There you go. But yeah,
that's
man,
definitely
bring the
different.
energy come Sunday. All of you in the chat, bring the energy, man. Yeah, man, let's start out this season with on a high note. And man, enjoy the game, man. I appreciate you dropping this tonight, man. I was happy when you were on, when I got the notification you were on, man. So I
Man,
appreciate this,
appreciate
man.
it. The goal is to try to be back on the tomorrow night before the game come on. We'll see what happens. But y'all know me, good people. I cannot thank you enough for rocking with me, for showing up and showing out with me as you always do. I can't leave a show unless I leave it on a positive note. And today, I am not sure who this quote came from. I'm not sure. I liked it when I read, and I thought it made sense for the moment today. It says, "Desire makes slaves out of kings, and patience makes kings out of slaves." I'm gonna repeat it again. Desire makes slaves out of kings, and patience makes kings out of slaves. I know that this is hitting to somebody a little bit different because they may not catch what this message is, but it's definitely for you because you are rushing the process. You see, patience is what comes to you when you're trying to build greatness. They often say Rome wasn't built in a day because they want you to understand that the process, the time that it took to go into the process to build that empire was necessary. The same process that it must go into you building yours. Quit rushing into your journey as though if you move faster, you will get to your destination quicker. That's not how it quite works. In fact, when you chase things, it tends to run harder. I don't know if you ever seen a lion or a cheetah chase a gazelle, but the harder the lion and the cheetah runs, the gazelle will run harder. And when it finally attempts to outrun its opponent, it trips itself up, thus leading to its doom. Quit preaching to yourself about, if I just get here right now, I'm going to make it to the place that I'm going to be to. I just got to do this first. You're disregarding the steps. Everything has to happen in a certain order. In fact, in most cases, if you just enjoyed the journey, you wouldn't have to chase the dreams that you've been looking for. They will come to you. I can't tell you how many times I simply was in the right place at the right time, at the right moment, with the right person to say the right things because I didn't need to do all the running, and they were brought to me. You can be a king, and many of you already are, but you're too busy giving up your kingdom, giving up your royalty to chase after something that will be brought to your feet. Stop chasing what does not need to be chased. Stop skipping the journey that has been asked of you. Simply take it all in. Embrace every bit of it. Don't turn into a slave trying to garner the money. Don't turn into a slave trying to garner the fame. Don't turn into a slave trying to build up your name. Let everything come to you, King. And when it does, let the world see what makes you a great ruler great. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, hit that like notification bell. Football is back. Pick'em League is back. I'm back. You back. We still here. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please do your research. We are out. Sorry for the short show.